The year was 1997. A financial storm was brewing in Asia. It began with the collapse of the Thai baht. The Thai government was forced to float the baht after a speculative attack. This triggered a chain reaction across Southeast Asia. The crisis quickly spread to Indonesia, South Korea and other neighboring countries. One key factor in the crisis was rapid capital flight. High interest rates in the United States made U.S. assets more attractive to investors. This drew money away from Asian economies. The US dollar was also very strong at the time. This made it more expensive for Asian countries to repay their dollar-denominated debts. The crisis had devastating consequences. Currencies plummeted, stock markets crashed, businesses went bankrupt. Millions of people were thrown into poverty. The crisis also exposed structural weaknesses in many Asian economies. These included crony capitalism, lack of transparency, and weak financial regulation. The Asian financial crisis was not just a regional crisis, it had global implications. The crisis led to a sharp decline in global trade. It also contributed to the Russian financial crisis of 1998. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, stepped in to provide bailout packages to several affected countries. These packages came with strict conditions, such as austerity measures and structural reforms. Indonesia was hit particularly hard by the crisis. Its currency, the rupiah, lost more than 80% of its value against the US dollar. The Indonesian economy contracted by 13.1% in 1998. Social unrest and political instability followed. President Suharto, who had ruled Indonesia for more than 3 decades, was forced to resign in May 1998. South Korea, another economic powerhouse in the region, also suffered a severe downturn. The Korean won depreciated sharply, and the country was forced to seek a bailout from the IMF. However, South Korea recovered relatively quickly from the crisis. It implemented a series of reforms to strengthen its financial system and improve corporate governance. Fast forward to 2024. The global economy is once again facing headwinds. The COVID-19 pandemic has left its mark. The war in Ukraine has added to the uncertainty. Inflation is surging in many countries. Central banks are raising interest rates, and once again, the US dollar is strengthening. These developments have sparked fears of another Asian financial crisis. Asian currencies have been under pressure, foreign exchange reserves have been dwindling. Some economists believe that the situation is different this time around. They argue that Asian economies are now more resilient. They have larger foreign exchange reserves and stronger financial systems. However, others warn that the risks should not be underestimated. They point to the high levels of debt in many Asian countries. They also note that the global economic outlook is highly uncertain. A sharp slowdown in the US economy or a surge in US interest rates could trigger capital flight from Asia. This could lead to a repeat of the 1997-98 crisis. In the aftermath of the Asian financial crisis, the G20 was formed. This group of the world's 20 largest economies came together to address the crisis and prevent future ones. The G20 has played a significant role in coordinating global economic policy since then. It was instrumental in responding to the 2008 global financial crisis. However, the G20 has faced criticism in recent years. Some critics argue that it has become too unwieldy and ineffective. Others say that it has not done enough to address global challenges, such as climate change and inequality. Despite its flaws, the G20 remains an important forum for dialogue and cooperation. It is essential that the G20 members work together to address the current economic challenges. They need to find ways to support global growth while also addressing the risks of inflation and debt. The Asian financial crisis was a wake-up call for the world. It showed how quickly a regional crisis could turn into a global one. It also highlighted the importance of strong financial systems and sound economic policies. The world has learned from the mistakes of the past. But the current economic climate is a reminder that we are not immune to crises. We need to remain vigilant and work together to prevent another crisis from happening.